Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. So one of the things that you hear a lot about when you shoot with mirrorless cameras is that one of the benefits is you can adapt vintage lenses and analog, if you will, lenses used back in the day on film cameras, DSLRs, lenses as well, other people lenses, depending on the type of adapter that you can find that will allow you to adapt whatever particular analog lens. Generally not an autofocus lens, but you can do those too if you get the right adapter, and even adapt autofocus lenses from other brands to the brand of camera that you shoot with. So I've dibbled and dabbled in it a little, not a lot, never really put a lot of energy, if you will, toward adapting lenses to my Fuji cameras, but I do have some. I have some manual lenses for the X mount where I don't have to use an adapter, and I've played a little with them, and they work great, and they look great, especially on the X-Pro3. Well, I decided to go out for a little test to give myself if you will, a project to do for the rest of the month of June, where I plan to shoot an adapted Leica Summicron 35mm f2 lens to my X-Pro3. We'll give a little quick snippet of some B-roll of how that looks. And one of the things that I've decided to do was, about last year sometime, I got the Fujifilm adapter, which has some electronics in it, that even has a button on the side, so kind of like a smart adapter, if you will, that'll let you quickly set up a profile for the lens that you're using. If it's a lens where you can actually take advantage of using the OVF, you can, and you can intensify the frame lines for the OVF, but I wanted to use the EVF, and I will have to say, you're gonna have to make sure you put a little time in setting up your camera to make sure you're getting the image experience you want out of the EVF when you're using it. For me, that meant making sure I take the Fuji camera EVF off of auto. So, because auto, what it'll do is it won't give you a true representation of the image, because it will adjust for the light that's coming in through the sensor, or I should say not the sensor, but adjust for the light around the camera, ambient light, and adjust to how bright the EVF will be so you can see it clearly and so forth. Well, you got to turn that off, because if you don't, I noticed that the image will be either washed out or dark, overshadowed, shady, if you will, shadowy, if that's even a thing. And so I adjusted that by taking off the auto to give myself the best viewing experience I can get out of the EVF. And then I use focus peaking. I like to use the really bright blue highlight. And when I go out, I try to make sure that I do a kind of preset, if you will, of the distance that I want, or set the distance, not even a preset. I will get to an object, whether that's a car or a person that's standing in front of me, and I will step back as far as I believe I would want everything in focus, say at a f8, 5 to 8 feet in front of me. And I will use the focus peaking to kind of see how much of that scene is in focus from the distance of the person or the subject. Like I said, a car is in front of me. So here's some quick images so you can see what I did. And now what I want to do is just give you a quick idea of what I plan on doing, which is getting more comfortable using the gear I have and seeing what it can do for me in different scenarios, so that I can create and learn from it and create and grow in my style and so forth, which is, I think, one of the real true reasons you want to adapt lenses to a mirrorless camera, is to grow in your style and the type of images and content that you create. I didn't do any video with this, so don't worry about that, especially out of the X-Pro3. It has video stuff, but I was not even thinking about video. So I plan on taking this setup out with me for the rest of the month, getting a really good feel of it, getting a really good feel of how the Fujifilm adapter works, because it ain't cheap, and it still ain't cheap. But I think it could have been cheaper. But I want to see how I do. I want to see how I can improve on my street photography style and the type of images I shoot with this limitation, if you will, shooting a analog lens adapted to a mirrorless camera. So look forward to that video toward the end of the month, and I'll give you guys a good feedback on how I felt after shooting this for a couple of weeks. See you guys on the next video. Hit that like button. I continue to say thank you very much, everybody, for the support. Hit that subscribe button, of course, if you want to see more content. And two, I do also love the support you guys have given me with the first month of the podcast that I've added to the channel on street photography. So look forward to this month's podcast as well coming up. And you guys have a good rest of your week, and hopefully a really great weekend coming up. Happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. Have a good one. Let's get out of here.